What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the Funky Buddha Brewery, and they're out of Oakland Park, Florida, and this is their maple bacon coffee porter. So this is an ale with coffee beans, maple syrup, and natural flavors added. It comes in at 6.4% alcohol by volume, 35 IBUs, and at the time of review, this can is just over 1 month old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out to a friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Gregory, for this beer. So big thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Gregory hooked me up with. And it was a small yet very impactful beer mail. It included only 4 beers, but 3 of those were from Florida breweries and 2 of them from Funky Buddha. And this, to me, is going to be a lot of fun because this and the other Funky Buddha beer that Gregory sent, I've had before. The other one was Last Snow. And here's the thing. While I've had these beers before, I had them at bottle shares. I specifically had this one back about 8 years ago. It was early 2016, and it was back when it came in the 22 fluid ounce bombers. I had maybe 2 or 3 ounces to start when everybody, took their pours or whatever, and we drank it and discussed it and talked about it, and then everyone moved on to the next beer. There was still like 5 or 6 ounces left in the bottle, so I actually finished the bottle. So I had a total of probably somewhere around 7 or 8 ounces of it. However, when you go to a bottle share or you go to like a beer fest or something, your palate is, compromised, right? It's not fresh, and you're running through different beers and whatnot. I just remember this beer being absolutely delicious. I gave it a 5 out of 5 on Untappd, and it was amazing. But you have to understand that back 8 years ago, crazy beers like this weren't the norm. Like, your local brewery probably does something like this or something maybe similar, or crazy wild beers. Back then, there weren't a lot of, maple bacon coffee porters just hanging out. So the experience was awesome. And I also was really impressed that they got as much flavor as I got as much flavor out of this one. The fact that it's 6.4%, it's a sub 6.5% beer, it was amazing. So I'm hoping this lives up to my memories of 8 years ago. But again, it was a bottle share. It was back then. I'm just hoping it's quite tasty. That's what I'm looking for. So let's give it a pour into the glass here, and we will find out. So, wow, that's actually a bit darker than I anticipated for, again, something less than 6.5%. Do something like that so I can get my nose in there. A little bit of a cheat. That cheat, really nice. So that in the glass, it looks to me like a darker brown, more like a root beer or something. On camera, it's probably going to look more pitch black. Has a finger of a straight up brown colored head. Very creamy looking though. Very creamy. Looks just very inviting. Hold it up to the light. Can't see through it. So maybe it is more of like a super deep dark brown. Like I said, root beer. But a lot of times when I say root beer or like a cola or like a Dr. Pepper, I can see like ruby red hints. I can't see anything holding up to light at all. So I think that just looks like a fantastic beer, if I'm being honest. So anyway, let's get a nose. Yeah. It's kind of like you just took a bite of everything you love from breakfast. So you had like a maple syrup on top of like pancakes or waffles. You have some bacon on your plate, and then you have a nice cup of coffee with some creamer in it. And you took a bite of a piece of bacon, you took a little bit of a forkful of, say, pancakes, and then you took a sip of your coffee. And it's all like, just as you're bringing it up to your nose, that's all encompassed into one aroma. The maple syrup is on top of this like smoky kind of meat quality. Would I say bacon if I was doing this blind? Probably not, but it has a smokiness to it. And then the coffee just kind of is like a nice medium roasted coffee, but it's very, very vibrant in the nose. There's underlying roasted kind of malt quality to this one as well. A little bit of maybe a mocha vibe, touch of like a darker chocolate. Yeah, so roasted malt, a little bit of dark chocolate, but then you get the adjuncts in terms of the maple syrup, the coffee, and then the natural flavors, which is the smoke character. It smells so rich and decadent for something, again, that is 6.4%. Like, if I was doing this blind and smelling it, I would think this is like Imperial, like 9-10% at the very least. And the maple syrup smells more authentic. It doesn't smell like table syrup. It smells like actual authentic maple syrup. Yeah, this smells fucking divine still. Just as good as I remember it in the nose. Oh, please be just as good in the taste. Cheers, everybody. Huge thanks to you, Gregory. I do appreciate it. Yep. Right off the rip, is this as good as I remember it? No, I'm just gonna be honest with you. And I didn't think it would be, just because I gave it a 5 out of 5. It was 8 years ago. I've had comparable beers to this in terms of the adjuncts in it. It just, I knew it wouldn't. And I try to not let preconceived notions, creep into the reviews. But honestly, it's going to happen in a situation like this. I'm going to compare it to when I first had it. And again, I was at a bottle share. It was a little bit different. But this is still fucking awesome. The most impressive thing about this beer, it has nothing to do with the adjuncts or the actual ingredients. It has everything to do, for me, with the fact that, again, I don't know how many times I'm going to say this in the review. It's already like the third or fourth time. This is 6.4%. It's not imperialized. It's not 10%. And the fact that it's as rich and decadent and not over the top with sweetness, and that it's just a fucking flavorful beer at that percentage, you win me over right there, just on that alone. Body, mouthfeel. Body is not thin at 6.4. This is honestly higher side of medium. It drinks like it's like 7.5%, 8%. Like, it has a decent heft behind it. So that's the first thing, of a proper review that I'm doing here with the body, that really sells me on it. Again, it's great that the body is not thin for something of this ABV percentage. The mouthfeel is crisp, right? It has almost moderate carbonation. It is extremely smooth on the palate, but also has a creaminess. It's really well done from that aspect. Enhances the drinkability and the enjoyment factor for me personally. Just the body and mouthfeel alone just kind of, again, sell me on the beer. The taste, it's an omnipresent, I would say, maple syrup drizzled bacon with you drinking a cup of coffee. So you take back that maple, like I said, like pancake and waffle. I'm not really getting, it's not that sweet. It doesn't have that kind of vibe. It's more of you took, and I've, if you have candied bacon, but you candy the bacon with, instead of brown sugar, like maple syrup. It's you took a bite of candied bacon and you took a sip of your coffee with some creamer in it. From front to back, that's pretty much the note. There's a little bit of underlying roasted malt character, a little bit of that darker sweet chocolate. But I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you and tell you that I'm getting 73 different characteristics, because I'm not. Maybe a touch of vanilla too on the finish. It finishes with a semi to full on dry kind of feeling, mild bitterness, more dry than bitter. It is decently sweet, but it's not cloying whatsoever. Where, again, I think if this was in the 9-10% range, it would be one of those beers where at the end of the review, what do I say about it? Well, I like this, but it's a sharing beer, or it's a flight beer, as I like to say. I just want 4 or 6 ounces of it. I say that a lot with big imperial beers, but at the end of the day, this is 6.4%. I could session it. I could have a couple of these and be feeling good, but not over the top. I love that it's not cloying, and it has a decent balance to it. Although this leans a little bit 60-40 sweetness to dryness. I think that, it's not, again, going to be cloying at any point. And I love that I taste each individual adjunct as well. It sucks that they use natural flavors, but I don't see them brewing this with bacon, so you're going to have that off that natural smoke flavor. I get that. I can't give it a 5 out of 5 because, like I said, it doesn't live up to my memories of it from that aspect, but it's fucking still super delicious. Man, it's just really fucking still good. I'm going to give it a high rating. I really am. I think, again, this is probably, along with Gunner's Daughter, which is a very impressive, I think, what was that beer, 5.5? Along with Gunner's Daughter, this is one of the best sub 6.5% pastry-esque kind of porters or stouts that I have ever had. It just does everything I want it to do for the most part. It just doesn't have that 5 out of 5 wow factor. So Funky Buddha, their maple bacon coffee porter. I'm gonna go straight 4.75. I got I was do a little bit under 4.7, maybe do 4.6. It's 4.75. I just knocked down a quarter rating because, again, it's not in that 5 out of 5 category anymore. But man, does it do it? I don't give a shit. You probably don't either. A 4.75. If I was to rate this a 5 instead of 4.75, and you're somebody who watches the channel and you might buy some stuff or try some stuff because of my recommendation, I think the fact that I give it a 4.75 or a 5 doesn't matter to you. and it shouldn't, because it's just ratings, and ratings don't matter. The only person that matters to is the person rating it, and I don't even give a shit. So whatever, this is just delicious. And you know, I'm pretty sure the old owners of Funky Buddha bought the brewery back, I think in the last year, maybe last 6 months, which is awesome. Really cool to see. And I don't know. Thank you, Gregory, for this beer. So price point availability. Nope. I have no idea. Gregory, anybody else out there in Florida that can get this one? I would like to see this. If this is probably in 6-packs, but if it's in 4-packs, I would like to see 4-packs be around, you know, no more than like $16 to $18. And I'd like to see 6-packs be like no more than $18 to $20, right? Like my preference would be like if I could get a 6-pack of that for like, you know, 16, 17 bucks, that'd be cool. But I have no idea. I just know that if I lived in Florida and I got my, you know, I had a chance to get my hands on this and Last Snow and any other beers from Funky Buddha, I would, based on this beer alone. It's fucking divine. And 6.4%, you really can't tell. Like, this is awesome beer, and I can't thank Gregory enough for it. So, if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about this one. I can't wait to get into Last Snow. I gave that also, I think, a 5 out of 5, and I had it, again, at a share. So we'll see how I think about that one. It's going to be tough to beat this, and I'm somebody who is a coconut whore, so to speak. I love coconut, without question. Toasted, fresh, whatever. So we'll see how good that beer is. And I think they're both like the same base porter, because that is also 6.4% and 35 IBU. So we'll see. Anyway, thanks to Gregory. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.